In your typical kitchen at home, you might cook for, let's say, 4 people. A fully booked restaurant might cater for 300 guests per night. But this kitchen that we're about to have a look around caters for a whopping amount of people every single day. Welcome to Emirates Flight Catering.
Once the plane touches down, everything gets taken off the plane.
So this then is the start of the cycle of a turnaround.
The start of the cycle, yeah.
And as you say, you're not just dealing with food in here, you're dealing with everything on board that aircraft.
Absolutely everything on board the flight.
Because you're catering the aircraft.
That's right.
You're not just chefs.
Not just chefs, yeah.
And all of that stuff off the flight is now in here.
That's right.
And the cycle begins.
And the cycle begins.
Well, let's follow that cycle.
Yeah. This is our monorail system. 2.5 kilometers long. It has drop-off and pick-up points all over the building. For example, these carts that have just been washed, they'll get loaded onto the monorail and they'll get taken all the way up to the floor that we cook on and where we load the carts with the meals and the trays.
These trolleys are familiar to passengers because these are the ones that are going up and down the aisle.
Yes.
So even these get washed?
Everything gets washed, yeah.
On average, every day, how many pieces of cutlery and crockery are coming through here to get washed up?
The guys in the warewash handling about 3 million pieces a day on average.
3 million a day. Where are we now here?
Right, we're going into the cold kitchen here. This is where we prepare all of the cold appetizers. So it's kind of divided up. On one side we have dishing for first and business class meals. On this side, this is then split into 2 sections. Far corner there is where all the economy sandwiches are made. And this section up here is where all the first and business class sandwiches are made. Okay. And the team you see working here are the guys that will then flow wrap everything to keep the bread and the sandwich as fresh as possible to make sure that when you get it as a customer, you know that nothing has been able to fiddle around with it or contaminate it. So,
for sushi?
A smoked cured salmon that's got some herb marination.
It looks very nice. Are we talking first class here or economy?
This is first and business.
Okay. That's why I've never seen it before.
That thing will have your fingers off.
Is that the cutter?
That's the Hydra processor.
So the meals come through here and it cuts it up?
There's a water jet that comes out of here, uses high pressure water laser to slice through rather than with a knife and clean the knife and then cut it.
Wow.
It helps us to get a very precise weight and then we present them on the dishes like on the plates like this.
So Hugh, is this the main kitchen for all the hot meals?
This is the main kitchen, yeah. Very simply put, there's a preparation room here where all the raw products get prepared for cooking in here.
Yeah.
Then the kitchen is split into 4 like a compass.
So what have we got? Subcontinent?
Subcon, Asia, Western cuisine here, and this is all the Middle Eastern cuisine that's prepared here. Once everything's been cooked, we load it into trays and it gets put onto this system here. This is a blast chiller system. So we record the weight that we've produced, put the tray on here, it goes into the blast chilling system, fully automated.
And so where is that going?
That goes into our chilling facilities. Yeah.
So when everything's made in here, into the chiller.
Yeah, all the hot food gets put into here, weighted up, so we have an idea of what's been produced.
Yeah.
And it comes through down here. So now we come into a separate area. This is where our hygiene team is working.
Okay.
They'll take everything we produce and make sure it's chilled down within the specifications. So we've got to get it down to below the danger zone, which is down below 5 degrees as quickly as possible.
You get it down to that as quickly as possible. And that protects it, does it?
It prevents the multiplication of bacteria, which could cause problems on board the flights. So these guys handle that. They're specialists, they're experts. They're a completely separate reporting line than the production. Put it in other words, they make sure that the food is absolutely safe for the people on board.
So this is where everything's dished to the point that we would see it on the aircraft. I've always enjoyed the fruit on board Emirates, I have to say.
It's all right, no?
This is where it happens.
Yeah. So it comes in trays already sliced up for our specifications.
Right, and then you just place it together in here.
We'll assemble it here and then load it down. It runs under this printer here, so we get a day code printed on every single lid. We use a UV ink so it doesn't disturb anybody, but we have traceability internally.
So on the lid, there's a date, but we can't see it.
We can't see it because it's a UV ink,
Oh wow.
This is flight prep. This is where all the work from the guys in the cold kitchen, the pastry kitchen, and the hot kitchen all comes together onto one tray.
And everything that's come off the aircraft is also here cleaned.
Cleaned, yeah.
So it
it's
all
like
comes together here.
All merges together.
Amazing. But for instance, the hot meals, because they were put into the ovens.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't go onto these trays, would they not?
They
They're in
don't,
the
no.
ovens.
They'll be on the oven.
Yeah, but then they're put onto the trays on the egg.
Yeah, it'll get brought together and put together with the carts on board the
In the
flights.
galley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually load them into the ovens so that when they take off, the crew is able to
Yes.
get up, do their beverage service, switch on the
Yeah.
ovens,
And
and then
then
serve
you're
the meals. Yeah. It's actually phenomenal. You sit in economy class and you serve 500 people. You know, by the click of a finger, an hour and a half, you've done a full meal service for 500 people with a very light crew of people on board the flights. I mean, it's really remarkable.
And we're talking over 160,000 meals on average a day. I mean, this has to be, does it not, the biggest restaurant in the world?
It's the biggest restaurant in the world.
has to be, right?
Yeah. So
What's
this is Airside Logistics. These are the guys that bring the work of all these different departments that we've just walked through and seen into one place, put it all into a line and load it onto one of five high loaders if it's being taken to an A380. Basically, this is a mirror of what happened in the warewash where everything dirty was coming out.
Yeah. Every flight is organised here, and each door will be going to a specific aircraft with everything that aircraft needs.
That's absolutely right, yeah. Quite a thing. It's like loading a hotel
Yes,
to give everything that the guests within would require for the duration of their stay.
Yeah.
And you start with an empty plane.
And if you think about it, a lot of the hotels around the world will have less than 500 people staying in them.
Very true. Yeah.
So that just sort of says something about the operation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, this is the end of the journey. It's been a pleasure, Hugh.
Cheers, Tom.
I don't know how you do it.
Thanks for taking time to come and look around.
It's been my pleasure to have a look around, but yeah, I'm looking forward to flying next to enjoy it all.
Well, maybe we'll be on a flight together somewhere.
Appreciate. Are we going on holiday?
Maldives, who knows? Yeah.
Great. Just put us on the lorry now. And we'll get on.
Yeah, I don't think that would work.
No, probably not. I don't have my
Got
passport.
quite tight security.
Very good. Thank you very much, Hugh. That's
Cheers.
been great. Thank
Cheers,
you.
Tom.